Welcome to another installment of This Is Not Normal on the Political Drain podcast with Drill Sergeant Doug, aka Admin Doug, a U.S. Army veteran, teacher, musician, and family man from Jamaica, now fights for justice and democracy through commentary and humor. Follow him on YouTube at Political Drain and at Sons of Liberty Official as Drill Sergeant, aka Admin Doug, continues to protect our freedoms.
MAGA, what happened to protecting the kids?
Today in Water is Wet and Rupert Murdoch is going for the jugular, the Wall Street Journal is now reporting that Trump was told his name was in the Jeffrey Epstein files before the Department of Justice decided to withhold the documents. This new exclusive reporting from the Wall Street Journal says that Donald Trump was told in May by Attorney General Pam Bondi that his name appeared multiple times in Department of Justice documents about sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here. And yeah, that's the news. That's the headline, at least. I'm not sure how newsworthy that is because I'm not sure that we all didn't already know. How many times do you have to hear that he told people that to flag every time his name was in it? For what purpose? So that he could go ahead and execute himself? Come on, guys. Here's what I'm talking about. The reason why that's the headline is because that is just enough intrigue to have people feigning disbelief. It's just enough of not knowing something to keep a conspiracy profitable. And I'm not saying it's not important. What I'm saying is today we're also going to be talking about how the Catholic Church and all the Republicans, MAGA elected, including their orange Lord and Savior, are trying to block a law requiring child abuse being reported in Washington. There's no intrigue there. There's no missing names, missing list. There's no edited video. There's no way that you can both sides it. Did you hear about it? No. Many of you did not hear about that. And if you did, it was a passing glance. Because the intrigue was going to keep people clicking. Who's in it? Who's not in it? What do I care, YouTube? What do I care about a letter with boobs on it? What do I care about a letter that's full of insinuation for a 50th birthday when I know for a fact that the same administration that we're wondering about who's who did what, when, where, and why is actively right now blocking a law that requires child abuse to be reported. They don't need the Epstein file is what I'm saying. So yes, Trump found out that he's in the Epstein file, and then immediately afterwards, he ordered his henchmen, his cronies, his evil monsters masquerading as appointees in government to issue a memo saying there's nothing to see here because he's stupid, because he's a fool, because the only people he's able to trick are 12-year-olds. I'm not trying to go hard yet. I'm giving myself time. So here's the headline that the algorithm wouldn't normally feed to you. Why I had to put the Epstein one in. Not because you didn't know that he's a child RAist, but because it's the intrigue. What you don't know that can keep the media both sidesing things. Keep asking the question as if they don't know the answer. Keep allowing people like Jubilee to have fascists run around and normalizing stupidity and ignorance. This is the law. SB 5375. It was brought in by Bob Ferguson, who's the Democratic governor of Washington, to try to protect children. What happened, MAGA? Who would have a problem with that, MAGA? This is happening at the same time as the cuts into human trafficking investigations and the president's Truth Social post about the Epstein files and the Speaker Mike Johnson, Christine Moses Mike Johnson, shut down Congress early, so no vote on the Epstein files either. And the biggest part about that, YouTube, is all of the MAGA people saying, I just can't believe it. And you'll also get left-wingers, people who mean well, and who think like normal human beings, not realizing that they're talking to cult members, you'll get normal people who will tell you that now is when they're going to break off. They're breaking off. They're turning on him. The question remains, who needs the Epstein files? Because if you wanted a list, if it mattered about children being abused, if it mattered and you want to know who was on the list, all you had to do was look at Donald Trump's friends and appointees for the past 10 years. There's one, this is 2020, that this guy was arrested. Here's another one. And what's funny about all of this, YouTube, is that all of these people that I'm talking about were arrested or found guilty or admitted to doing the crime before the election. The only thing different about the Epstein files, the only thing different about the letters and the memos is that it allows you to still believe that you don't know what's going on. That's the only thing different. That's why Epstein files mattered more than this. You know what? While I continue on, I was going to show a video, but this may be more impactful. While I continue on to tell you about this bill, I'm just going to put a list here of everybody who is accused, credibly, Donald Trump of abusing them sexually before the election, so that you know that you're not fooling me as to the reason why the Epstein files mattered more to you, because it's the only thing that you didn't know, and it too shall probably pass. Well done, MAGA. This is part and parcel of making America great again, huh? This is what you envisioned when you cast your vote. Is this the one nation under God that you wanted? Starting now, let's see how long this list lasts while I tell you about this bill. SB 5375 is a law that was signed in May to take effect on July 27th that extends the requirement of certain professions to report signs of child abuse, including priests, and hearing confessions. I know that has an issue with some people, but to be honest with you, I think that sounds reasonable because other states already have that on the books. Doctors, nurses, teachers, childcare providers, youth organizations, etc., all have the legal duty to report these things according to this bill now. So, 3 Catholic bishops sued the state because the act of confession is a sacrament and would lead to priests getting excommunicated for breaking the confessional seal. What is excommunication? If you don't know, that means you're eternally damned. They argue that it not only did it interfere with their First Amendment rights, but it also meant they would be treated differently to other professions. They cited a separate law which prevents lawyers and their employees disclosing information that they received during confessional dealings with clients. Could it not be argued that the act of keeping quiet and letting someone continue to hurt a child is equally damning, though? And I'm not sure. Lawyers are required to report if somebody confesses a murder or a rape to them. Enter Trump's administration, the Department of Justice, who said that the law deprived Catholic priests of their fundamental right to freely exercise their religious beliefs, as guaranteed under the First Amendment. Then a federal judge backed this up. District Judge David G. Estudillo issued a preliminary injunction blocking that part of the law, ruling that the bishops were likely to succeed. In his ruling, he stated that the new law burdens the plaintiffs' free exercise. Have we got done looking at all the people Trump has already sexually assaulted yet? I'm trying to read slow. Did you need anything else? While you're finding an excuse for this one, that's why I have this scrolling for you. Let's continue. So, as I was saying, he went on to say that Washington's failure to demonstrate why it has an interest in the highest order in denying an exemption to clergy while making such exemptions available to other professionals who work with underserved children is likely fatal. Washington Eastern Orthodox Church has filed a similar case. This is why church and state are supposed to be separate. The Trump Justice Department said it was anti-Catholic. and the bill is more direct burden on the exercise of religion would be difficult to imagine. It's just so hard for them to imagine not being able to cover up for pedophiles, child abuse. That's an undue burden on their religion. I wonder if the Justice Department thinks that the Epstein list is a bigger burden. Oh, wait, there is no list. I forgot. Are we done with these? I got more. We haven't gotten to his friends and his associates and the people he hired and the people who run the government with him, party with him. We haven't gotten there yet. This is just the people who've already accused him. We don't need an Epstein list for it. Where are we? Number 20? So I'll try to move quickly here, okay? But just when you think that maybe they have a point, maybe that, you're thinking to yourself, it makes sense, it's a part of their religion, I'm here to tell you, no, your gut feeling is right. Because this supposedly anti-Catholic legislation, unfortunately for the Trump administration, was signed into law by a Catholic. The difference is who's willing and who's unwilling. Like the rest of the Bible, there are contradictions everywhere. The ones you choose show your heart, not God's. Bob Ferguson has clashed before with the Catholic Church. Right when he was a state attorney general, he accused them of failing to cooperate with an investigation into whether the church used charitable funds to cover up sexual abuse by priests in Seattle. Huh? These are done? Good. I can put this up. Who needs the Epstein files? When the Catholic Church has been mired by child sex abuse in recent decades, and now the government defends the institution instead of the people. Huh? And in their defense, the priest stated that they follow God's law over man's, that they're using the First Amendment. So obviously man's law has some importance to them when it's convenient. Is this the separation the founding fathers envisioned? MAGA. What happened to protecting the children?
In the wake of questions and allegations about Donald Trump's behavior towards women, ET discovered this footage in our archive, which we provided to CBS News.
Soon. Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it? Okay.
So YouTube, another reason why you don't need to know what's going on in the Washington Journal. You don't need to know about the letter and if it's real or not. You don't need to know about the list. Is because can anyone in MAGA tell us why Trump's cuts to government departments includes those from the State Department office that investigates human trafficking? What about the kids? MAGA? We done with this? Okay, here's this. This is the list of friends and associates and people that worked in the government that you voted for, MAGA. And for the rest of my decent human beings out here, obviously not MAGA, this is who they voted for. The only reason the Epstein list mattered was because it was the only thing they didn't know. What they know is okay with them. The church is okay with them. Their own pastors are okay with them. Their uncles are okay with them. Trump is okay with them. As long as he can give them that power he promised over you. Fuck the kids. The Epstein's files, the only reason why it matters even now is just because the only thing they had to use to save face for the amount of times that they voted for pedophiles willingly associated with Donald Trump.
25 years ago, Congress mandated that the State Department have an office tracking the scope of human trafficking and working to combat it. According to that office, of the 25 million plus victims globally, in 2023, just 134,000 victims were identified worldwide. That led to more than 18,000 prosecutions. Last week, the Trump administration drastically cut that office's staff. Here's how the Deputy Secretary of State for Management and Resources explained the decision.
For too long, single-issue offices have mushroomed in number and influence, often distorting our foreign policy objectives to serve their specific interests, slowing down the department's ability to function.
For more on all of this, Madam Ambassador, your reach was global, but let's talk about the United States. How big a problem, how widespread is this problem in the United States?
Human trafficking is a huge problem in the United States, both sex trafficking and labor trafficking. And it is a problem that we share with other countries too, which is why the work of the Trafficking in Persons Office is so critical.
Talk about the problem globally as well.
Our records for the 2023 show that more than 10,000 victims, both domestic victims and foreign national victims, received services from DOJ funded grants. And so that's more than 10,000 individual victims receiving services. And we know that there are many more victims who never access services or who never self-identify.
And of course, not forgetting the other cuts to the war crimes investigation in Ukraine by the U.S. State Department, which resulted in President Putin in Russia being indicted on 6 charges to the International Criminal Court. A team at Yale was documenting evidence alleged Russian war crimes as a part of the U.S. State Department Conflict Observatory Program. They believe over 35,000 children have been abducted, re-educated, and put into forced fostering and adoptions. And this is tough. One of the investigators described this as an industrialized campaign of child abduction. It's a factory of abduction. And that money was it was too hard to track for our new MAGA Save the Children administration. Is it getting swampy enough for you, MAGA? Huh? Is it? I'll put this headline here too. Before 2025, so I keep reiterating to you, we don't need any Epstein files. The only reason we're doubling down and talking about it is because it has the other side on the back heels, because it has evil people who are stupid and incompetent, more willing to make a mistake, more willing to lose ground because they're dumb and idiotic and entitled and have never been challenged. So that's why we keep doing this. Don't let anyone else tell you it's because we're trying to peel off MAGA members. They knew this. The only thing they didn't know was the Epstein files, which is why it was the only thing that mattered. I guarantee you the minute they do know about it, it won't anymore. That's the point. And the rest of the news that you're watching, not to turn it off completely, but remember this story that I'm telling you about, you didn't see it. You're still wondering if he drew a thick marker outline of a naked woman to send to a nasty degenerate on his 50th birthday. Did he or did he not? Does it matter? This is the headline. The reason why you don't know about the church and about Washington, what's happening there, is because that's too concrete. You can't click on that a second time after you hear it the first time. You can't make up your own story about it afterwards and wonder who's in it and who's not. And you can't debate it at a round table full of idiots. You can't both sides it. That's why you don't hear about it. You hear about the sensationalized Epstein file. And I'm going to keep talking about it because I want them on their back heels. But our job is to use this time to continue to organize. Anybody heard about that general strike yet? Anybody keeping extra food, toiletries, water so that your house can be used? Huh? Anybody doing that yet? Anybody talk to somebody with funds? Anybody keeping funds so we can start a strike? A general one? We got time. That's why we're talking about the Epstein files, not because it's fun, but because it buys us time to do the work necessary. Anybody saving up? I think it's time. Just saying, getting the mutual aid together, contacting them. How can you help? We got time. There's going to be another Epstein headline soon, and I'll be on it. Not because I care about MAGA and I care about peeling them off. That won't happen. But because it buys us time to do the work necessary, because it won't stop until we stop it. Not to mention the Epstein list that doesn't exist. Perhaps because guess who's in the Epstein files? According to the Wall Street Journal, It's Donald Trump. It's Donald Trump. It's only midweek, people. Don't listen to them. Don't believe them. They've already got their marching orders. This is what we do. This is what we do. With the current administration and one of the world's oldest religious institutions seemingly trying to protect child abusers, what you can do is supporting the victims. How about that, MAGA? And for the rest of us, that's why you tune in to this channel. I told you we was going to be about that mutual aid. Supporting the victims is what we're going to do at the end of these salacious headlines. It turns out that the phrase, we the people, is more important than ever right now. After that only billionaires benefit bill that they just passed, especially mutual aid, we the people, good people exist. You're there. It's you, and you're everywhere. And organizations that can offer support are also out there. I'm going to name a couple, and I'm going to put a lot more down in the comment section, the description, excuse me. All of them. Find out where they are, how you can help. Maybe we focus on the victims for a change rather than the files. Help is out there, people. While it is impossible to promise a happy ending, one of the best things a victim can do to become a fierce survivor is to reach out and seek help. If you need help, I'm just saying, this can be a therapy group, online forum, counseling, or even just speaking to a friend and loved ones who will listen to the victim. There are good people out there. It is not impossible to have healthy, loving relationships, intimate relationships or not. I promise you, if you're a survivor of rape, if you need to know that you are loved and you're valuable and you deserve to feel good, to have love in your life and to be heard, you deserve that. Below is an extensive list of resources that are available to you, to someone you know who's in need of help. Right down there. I want to talk about the Tawaglu Kinipi. This is the mental and emotional and spiritual health resource for the Lakota Nation, particularly for men, women, and children who have experienced this type of trauma. I know I mispronounced it, but there are victims there and the numbers are high. It's okay. There's help. There's a national organization for sisters of color ending sexual assault. Again, those victims are high, but they're not on the news as much as the pretty girls on the Epstein file. This fabulous organization empowers women of color through leadership training, supportive services, technical training, and political advocacy. The goal is to help women of color to grow and become strong leaders in their community, with rape prevention and aftercare being an essential element of their work. National Organization of Sisters of Color Ending Sexual Assault, right down there. And the Anti-Violence Project. I have more than this down there, but I wanted to just name these three. This is so important. The Anti-Violence Project. You can call 212-714-1141. The AVP specifically works with LGBTQIA+ communities to help victims of violence and to facilitate programs for violence prevention. They are committed to a world in which all humans can live without fear of violence based on who they are. Talkspace is one. RAINN, RAINN is one. You guys, look down there. And I'm here to say this. Political Drain is down to partner with any of you. Anti-Violence Project, National Organization, the Tiwahe Glukini. We want to partner with you. What can we do to help? We're going to be putting these headlines up. I want to know so I can sleep at night how I can help the victims. And I encourage all of you to do the same. I'm not going to do shout outs. I'll do it on the next one. But I want to give a general shout out to the members who help sustain this program. Thank you. And a big time shout out to all of you helping to fund the resistance over at patreon.com. Tomorrow, people, tomorrow we fight. Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're going to pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads. It's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works. Ground News has very quickly become one of my most prized resources, my go-to even, because I get to find out what stories are not covered by the blind spot feature, which I love. But not just the blind spot feature. Any of the stories that I bring up, I can see what either side is saying about it. I can also see who's paying for those headlines. It tells me who owns the publication, which also lets me know who they're writing it for. Many times, none of that is for us. But understanding the context helps us understand the story. Ground News is absolutely one of, if not the best way to know that you've gotten every side of a story and that there's not enough spin in the world that could have you misinterpret it. Follow us on all these things you see here, and our link tree is in the description. Maybe even get some merch.
That was the Political Drain podcast, which can be heard on www.groovechillradio.com/political-drain and can be viewed on the Political Drain YouTube channel anytime. Once again, thank you for listening to Groove Chill as we resist fascism in any form, pursue democracy, peace, and love.